Well, hi there, Sheepies, on this blizzardy, snowy day. I'm sorry that we had to cancel worship again this morning. That makes 2 times this month already. And, it's only January, so that gets a little bit old too. I don't like to cancel worship either, and I was looking so forward to seeing you, especially after being gone and then having to cancel jam this week. But hopefully this weather will be out of here, and we'll be back on track Wednesday and on Sunday. I was thinking this morning, I remember when I was a senior in high school, and we always went to the Ritz Ballroom in Lismore on the weekends. That's what we did. And there was a weather forecast of an impending blizzard. And I can remember my dad saying, maybe you girls should stay home and not go because the weather doesn't look very good. There's an approaching blizzard coming in. Of course, we didn't listen, and we went anyway and ended up getting stranded at the Ritz. And actually, we went next door to Mrs. Pick's house, who lived next door to the Catholic Church in Lismore. And I can just remember that she fed us bologna sandwiches and coffee, and she was going to take us all to Mass because, of course, we were up to our teenage shenanigans, because nothing good comes after dark, right, when you're out and about, except for our story for today. Nick at Night, we talk about a Pharisee named Nicodemus, who you'll find the story in John's Gospel, chapter 3. We remember that John is a synoptic, right? It's different than Matthew, Mark, Luke, and then you'll find different stories in there. John has a lot of close encounter stories, close encounters with Jesus, and next week we'll look at the woman at the well, the Samaritan woman at the well, and Jesus. But for today, we were going to talk about Nicodemus. Actually, I was going to title the message, Just a Modern Day Nicodemus, because I love this story so much, because we get to see Nicodemus searching. He wants to know more about Jesus. Nicodemus, this Pharisee, comes to Jesus at night. And why do you suppose that is? Well, I think he was afraid of his friends. He was afraid to, if they caught him talking to Jesus, they might oust him. He might be ridiculed. Well, we don't know. But the Pharisees, of course, were devout religious men. And they weren't bad people. But we often saw Jesus tangling with them a little bit, because we know that the Pharisees liked their I's dotted and their T's crossed. They followed the Jewish law to a T. But sometimes following the law to a T excluded people. It kept people out of church. It kept people from the full extent of experiencing God. And of course, we know that Jesus wasn't about that, right? So Nicodemus comes to Jesus after dark, which I love in the first place. And I can kind of see the whole scene play out. He had been watching Jesus. He had been watching all of the miraculous healings and listening to Jesus teach and preach and just observing. And he wanted to know more. And so he came to Jesus, and they have this wonderful conversation. And he says, "Teacher, how can I inherit the kingdom of God?" He addresses Jesus, first of all, as teacher, which means he respected him. And Jesus comes back with, "Oh, Nicodemus, I wish you would just think with your heart rather than your head. It was your heart that brought you to me tonight. It was your heart that made you want to know more." And so they have this conversation, and he says, "Nicodemus, here's what you have to do. You have to be born again. And you can only do that by fully experiencing the love of me, the love of God within your heart. You can't go back into your mother's womb. Of course, that's not physically possible, right?" Nicodemus was a head guy, remember? He was trying to figure all of this out. But Nicodemus, if you would just follow your heart, you're going to know me and you're going to know God, because I am God. Whoa, pretty cool stuff, right? The cool part of this story is that it doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. We're going to see Nicodemus again. We're going to see him at the trial of Jesus after Jesus is arrested. Nicodemus will be in the crowd and he will stick up for Jesus. And then after Jesus is crucified and getting ready to be buried, we know that Joseph of Arimathea offers his tomb for Jesus to be laid in. And then Nicodemus is going to go with Joseph, and he's going to prepare some spices to bless Jesus' body, to anoint him for burial. And I just think that is so special. So Nicodemus was just a really special guy. One of the questions that I was going to ask you today is that if you could have a conversation with Jesus, what are some of the questions that you would ask him? I always like to put myself in the story and to get the full extent to experience that. So if you could ask Jesus any question, what would it be? What would it be? Okay? That's all I have for you for now. My head is kind of just jello. First of all, from being gone for 2 weeks, and then Jim and I had some financial appointments this week, and my head is swimming with all of that stuff. And so my plan for this afternoon is to maybe rest and watch a movie. I've got some chili in the crock pot, and I'm just hoping that you find some time just to simply be today and stay safe and stay warm. Just a reminder that Jam is at Trinity at 6 o'clock this week, and it's potluck. We also want to pray for Pastor Darrell while he's away at guards. And if you have any other prayer concerns, please let me know. And hopefully we'll see you on Wednesday, and we'll see the rest of you on Sunday. Until then, stay safe, stay warm, be God's kids out there. Bye for now.